What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 23 of the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast. On this episode, we are taking a look at Paranormal Tales, Don't Scream, Twisted Towers, and Killer Klowns from Outer Space.
I drive a Volkswagen Bug, 17 deep, packed full of juggalos. Lights out, and we creep.
I don't know.
If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
You are now tuned in to the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast.
I love it when you talk nerdy to me.
Okay, that is a very obscure line, and I did not expect you to get it. From the band The Insane Clown Posse. I figured I would keep it kind of spooky and clowny since we're talking about clowns, but they're actually a horrific band, and it's a good thing that you don't know them.
Okay. Man, how you been? It's been a while because we had to take last week off because somebody was sick. Not gonna point fingers.
We did. I mean, Adam's bringing it up, so it's obviously not him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, been a long time, man.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Glad to be back. What is going on? How was your 2 weeks? Did you do anything exciting?
Anything exciting? Well, I had my best friend's wedding. That was a blast. That was a great time. And then from there, I've been playing the new wildcard football game. I have a review. We're gonna have a review up by the time of this episode is live, so make sure to check that out.
And quick notes, how is wildcard football?
Is it NFL Street? No. Is it something that can be improved upon? Yes, and I'm enjoying playing it. So I will say that there are things that needs to be improved for the game, but overall it is a fun alternative to Madden. And at the price of $40 and not a full retail price, I would say definitely a plus.
And who is your team quarterback?
Of course it's got to be Justin Herbert.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen.
I unlocked as soon as I had enough points to unlock Justin Herbert. He was the first one I spent all my coins on. But it's pretty fun. There's definitely some mechanics of the game that need to be improved. One thing I wish, and I put this in the review as well, I wish they can lateral. You can't lateral.
You can't lateral at all.
No, and I'm like, that'd be so, like, it'd make it more chaotic if you could, like, lateral the ball to a player on your team, but nope. So that's weird in an arcade style football game that they don't have like crazy kind of like laterals and stuff like that, like flea flickers and the juking, however, is pretty crazy. Like you can jump over like players, you can like teleport sideways, and that makes it fun. But it'd be really fun to have a lateral in there too. But other than that, I'm playing Motorfest, The Crew still, and just a bunch of other games in a game that I'm in the test phase, so that's kind of cool. I don't know if I'm even supposed to say the name, but
say it.
I'm playing Quidditch, so we'll leave it at that. It's pretty fun, but that's all I'm gonna say. I can't say much more than that.
With Adam is under a very strict NDA, but we will let you know.
NDA. I don't even know what that means, but
we will let you know that Quidditch, Harry Potter's Quidditch, is in the testing phase, and it looks to be an actual game that will be re-releasing.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about that one.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I have a little bit of news as well.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
I am currently playing Lords of the Fallen. We will be doing a Let's Play if you guys want to check that out. So that will be coming out very, very soon. We're going to get the first couple episodes out. And big shout out to the Let's Talk Nerdy podcast for... But are you ready? For our short of Lies of P, because... our Lies of P short, I don't know, Adam, if you have checked, is up to like a crazy amount of views. And that's because we did a little short about finding a quote unquote secret door in the demo, which I have gotten to the end of Lies of P, and that actually is a secret door. So we called that from the demo months ago. It is a very secret door. I won't spoil it, but when you head back to Endgame, make sure to check the train if you're playing the game where you started out and see what's behind that door, because there's some good stuff.
This is for you, Dave.
That's for us. That's for us.
You played it. I didn't play it. So great job, Dave. That's awesome. There's been a lot of positive things about Lies of P. So It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. I think it was a great game for a Souls-like. I think it was really really good. It was very very challenging, much more challenging than I thought it would be because like I was kind of running through the very first part and I was like, I am just out here clapping cheeks, and then it got to like it got to one part in the game and I was just like, oh, they're not holding your hand anymore. Like
Nope.
the difficulty went from like 0 to 100 in like one chapter, and I'm like, okay, this is the real Lies of P.
Yeah.
But I will say, be on the lookout for a DLC because there's a post-credit scene, which I'm very excited about. And the post-credit scene was a guy on a train talking about we found somebody else that can like help us along our mission. And basically what happens is you see these 2 feet walking on this ledge. The feet turn and it's ruby red slippers and they tap 3 times. So I think we are going to be getting a Wizard of Oz Dorothy DLC.
That's crazy. That's crazy. They're
I'm
combining the two. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like a Lies of D. It's gonna be like a Lies of D. I don't know,
Maybe.
maybe,
Maybe.
Yeah. But if they take all of these, like fairy tales and turn them into like this Souls like type of game, like I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I love the Pinocchio experience.
Yeah.
Like, give me a badass Dorothy. It's gonna be sweet.
Ooh, another one that would be kind of cool. Maybe like Peter Pan. Another
Yeah, they
like
could.
P squared. Like
Ooh.
Lies of P squared.
That would be sick. Could you imagine
Yeah.
final boss Captain Hook in
Yeah.
like a Souls like?
Yeah. Wow, that'd be kind of neat. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Oh, dude, you could like summon Rufio and stuff.
Yeah.
That would be so sick.
Lady and the Tramp.
Lady and the Tramp, you're just like this hairy dog in
Yeah.
like a Souls
Yeah.
like, dude.
That's pretty cool
this-
though.
The endless possibilities. So I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
and I feel like with the like a Wizard of Oz kind of feel, that'd be perfect for a scene, kind of like Lies of P. That'd be a perfect kind of rendition of the storyline as well. So that sounds awesome, man. I'm glad you
Yeah,
liked it.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like if you could get like a badass Wicked Witch of the
Mm-hmm.
West, like ooh, that it's ripe. It's ripe with lore.
Yeah.
So I hope they keep the series going. Good stuff.
Yeah, and that brings us to our spooky episode of today because it is October.
That is spooky.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Super excited.
Ooh.
Guys,
I'm done.
that was actually kind of scary.
Okay.
So, guys, first game we're going to talk about Paranormal Tales. I think maybe we should just roll right into the trailer.
Yeah, I think we have to.
Yeah, I think we have to because I think people really need to see what we're kind of talking about here. But this game is to be determined with a release date, but they are giving us a release date of 2023. So I do assume that it will be coming very soon. And if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, what we're seeing right now is some very realistic, like body cam style footage.
And it's just like
And
it got the same feel of like Visage. Remember you played that one? I played that one with
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah, it has the same feel of Visage, but I think what's like very terrifying is this body cam style,
Yeah.
and they're using Unreal Engine 5,
Yep.
which is making it very, very realistic.
Yeah.
I wasn't scared. You were scared. And I think this is going to be ripe with jump scares, of course.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a good storyline behind it. The thing is, there's like, it's such a realistic experience that we're looking at right now because there's no music, there's no nothing. It's just this very ominous.
Yeah.
It's just this very ominous and scary effect, and you know that I love this style, so you know I'm here for it.
Yeah, and kind of going off that a little bit. It's one of those things, and I'm gonna touch about this in the after our next game as well. But it's like the realism in these kinds of games just like helps you engage and like engulf yourself a little bit more. And I think the body cam really makes it seem like you're looking through like a camera and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like the camera angle with it.
Yeah.
This game is inspired by PT. Did you ever play that one?
I did actually play PT, so that was in my notes too, that it was inspired. Yeah.
Which is also another really scary game and like confusing too. Like I had no idea what was going on the whole time I played that. But in this one, you're playing as individuals that went missing, And like, so you're playing as these characters through their point of view of like phone cameras and VHS cameras. And so I think that's pretty cool. And it's going to take place in like different locations. So it's going to, I feel like each character's gonna have a different level of scare and different feel to it. And I think that's cool.
So I actually have it a different way. I'm not sure where. So what I looked up was basically you're playing as one character. Are you saying you're playing as
Oh, you know what?
different characters?
That note is for the next game.
Okay, because
That
the
makes
notes
sense.
that
Yeah, my bad.
the note that I have is that you are playing as one character and you're working for this company. What's the name of the company? It's like a very stupid name. Horror. You're working for the Horror Cams Committee, which is I have no idea what that is. But basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to decipher what happened to these people based on found body cam footage.
Gotcha.
So you're almost like a ghost detective, kind of reliving their experiences. And I think it's going to be really cool because they're saying that like all of the storylines are going to be very different and the player is going to experience a lot of different things. So I kind of like that it's going to be switching up because when you're playing a scary game, I don't know if you get this kind of same, well, you probably do get this kind of same feel because you had the same experience when you were playing Outlast.
Yeah.
It's like when you were that big guy that you were running away from in the very beginning, it was kind of scary, but then the more you kind of get used to him, like you almost kind of like he's almost like funny in a way, like that scare factor kind of loses. So I like the fact that they're switching it up and giving you different types of experiences.
And I think that's why I thought Visage worked so well because like the different storylines, it like you never know like where they were gonna pop up or what was gonna pop up. Really, you had no idea what you were looking for even in that game. And I think with Outlast, like you said, is like the music would even start with that guy. Like, so you knew he was coming because the music would start and then he'd start running at you. And I found that to get past him is you run right at him and then you like side jump and then you're right by him. So like it, like you said, it lost a scary factor. And even in like the end of Outlast, like just because you were so expecting somebody to be chasing you the whole time, it's like the end, I don't want to ruin it for anybody that's going to play Outlast, but like the end is like, it was the same situation. Like that thing kept popping up. And you're like, well, I know what I gotta do, just run away. Like it wasn't that scary in terms of like once it like happened, you knew it was happening.
Yeah, you lose that scare factor the more and more that it keeps happening.
Yeah.
So I do like that they're going to be switching this up and you're going to be getting very different experiences. What we touched about on the body cam footage, I do really it's like I don't want to be like gushing over this, but if you guys are just listening on the Spotify, go to YouTube and check out the trailer for this game. The amount of hyper realism is kind of next level. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before, especially in a horror game where it's almost very hard to decipher that you're looking at a game. Like you almost feel like you're watching actual body cam footage. And I think it's absolutely terrifying.
I agree. And I was gonna say, you know what would make this game even scarier is if they put it in VR.
Oh my god,
like,
dude! If you put this in VR, like whoo,
this
I don't
and
even
then
know
the
if I'd
next
be able
game
to play
too.
it.
Like those, I feel like any of these like horror games that like require you to like survive and like run around like that, I feel like if it was in VR, it would make it 10 times worse. And then, oh, geez. But overall, I think this game looks the part of being a perfect horror game to compete with some of those more scary games, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna turn some heads for sure. And I think when it comes out, it might kind of push the horror genre a little bit further than some people may expect.
Yeah.
So I'm here for it. I'm super excited for it.
I was gonna say there's not much like talk about this game yet, but I think as it comes out, people like, especially the horror genre like fan base, is gonna be like, all right, this is the next one. Like this is one that we're gonna play because it's up there with the ones that we love. So I think it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, and I think people are talking about it, but a very small community is
that's what I
talking
mean,
about
yep.
it. I think the small community that is very interested in this game is very, very excited for it. But I do think it's one of those games, kind of like a Cuphead, kind of like a Hollow Knight, that's gonna kind of quietly drop and then kind of gain momentum the more and more people play it.
I agree
Yeah,
with you
so
there.
I think it's gonna be super good. And you did touch on PT,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are really comparing this game to PT, which is really kind of a big deal. And for people that don't know what PT is, basically it's this trailer that dropped. This game okay, there is a game demo for a game called Silent Hills, which was going to be part of the Silent Hill series,
Yep.
and that demo dropped on the PlayStation 4 store in 2014. Now, people played this demo, and this game was supposed to come out. It was being developed by Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro, who
Mhm.
did Pan's Labyrinth and Hellboy and a bunch of different movies and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And basically, what happened is this demo came out, and people absolutely loved it. Like they went nuts for this demo. They thought it was going to be the greatest like horror game to come out in so long. Even so much that like the demo was winning like awards of like the best horror game of the
Yeah.
year and
Yep.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And for whatever reason, Silent Hills never came out. And in 2015, they removed the PT demo from the PlayStation
Mhm.
Store, and it's just never been heard of again. But in that time, people have really kind of built this cult following around it and to really love the game. So to have a game that's inspired by that game, people are kind of going nuts for it, and I'm here for it.
And it's going. Hopefully, it's one of those games that can live up to the hype of something like PT, because, like, like you build up the hype to be like, oh, it's gonna be like this game. I just hope it's gonna stick to that. And from what it looks like with this game, is it's hope, like it looks like it can be. So
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be kind of what PT showed us
yeah.
was possible in the horror genre back in 2014. And I think people are finally going to get like the game that they wanted. I think it's going to be sweet. Like PT is crazy, dude.
Mhm.
Like I remember playing PT and just being like, this is absolutely insane. Like it's like it was like almost giving me anxiety when
Yeah.
I was playing it, but in like a good way, if that made sense. I'm like
Yeah.
so entrenched in it, and it was just absolutely insane. And like we said, people have a ridiculous cult following for this game. Like
Mhm.
PS4s that had PT downloaded on it were going on eBay for like thousands of dollars. Do you remember that?
I don't remember all that. I have it on my PS4, but
Do you?
I do. Yeah.
Oh my God, really? We have to play it.
I might have to. Although when I played PT, I didn't really know what was going on, so I just kept walking and walking and like in a circle. You know what I mean? That's what I felt like I was
Yeah.
doing, and I didn't know what was going on. And then like out of nowhere, it's like you finished the demo, and I was like, I didn't do anything. But yeah, it was definitely scary. But I didn't know what was going on. I was so confused as I was playing. But
Yeah.
other than that, it was pretty. I think it's gonna be a scary, fun game with Paranormal Tales. It's gonna be
I
one
think
that I will try.
I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's definitely going to be one that I want to try. The body cam footage, again, just real quick, talking about the body cam footage. The reason why they did it, when they were asked why they went with the body cam footage, is they said it just feels terrifying, almost like claustrophobic,
Yeah.
and puts it an interesting twist on the horror experience, which I do believe. And people are a little bit concerned about this body cam footage just because like how I have issues with Sea of Thieves. They're
Yeah.
like the motion kind of sickness. So they are thinking about adding options to reduce the motion sickness if the body cam footage seems like something that might not be for you.
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. We
Mhm.
will see when it drops.
And there's no date on it yet, but I would imagine the next year or so.
There's no date on it yet, but they're still saying the 2023 timeframe is in spec.
Oh,
so
really? Okay.
Yeah, we could see it before the end of the year, which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I would think. You'd think this month, as it's the October and Halloween month, but probably too late at
You
this
would-
point. So
You would think, but
Yeah.
probably too late.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could get it before the end of the year. So
Yeah.
I'm super excited for it, and yeah, I'll be getting it and seeing how it goes.
ooh, spooky.
I'm super juiced for it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, real quick before we jump to our next game, Adam does not know about this, so he's gonna go into this 1,000% blind. But Adam, since this game is partially about kind of surviving
Yeah,
horrible experiences,
okay.
and the ones that we have seen are most likely taking place in the woods. I would like to put you into an experience and see if you can make it out alive.
Okay,
Are you
it's kind
game?
of similar to how I did with the saw, but mine failed. But let's go for it.
Kind of similar. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna put Adam deep into the woods and see if he makes it out alive.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm closing
All right,
my eyes to imagine.
I need you to imagine this scenario because you really have to think about this because most people do not make it out alive.
Okay.
Okay, you are walking through the woods at night and everything's pitch black except for the flashlight on your phone. Before you, there's a path that leads you deeper into the woods where your friend's cabin awaits. You've been there before, but never at nighttime. Do you keep walking or do you call your friend?
Can I ask questions? Is that allowed?
No.
No. So I can't know what battery percentage my phone has.
It's the story will lead you the way will give you all the information as
Okay.
you continue.
I'm gonna keep walking because I don't
You're
want my
gonna
phone to
keep
die.
walking.
Yeah.
Okay. Adam decides to keep walking. The faster you get to the cabin, the better. As you walk, you listen to the sound of crickets and wind rustling through the trees. You get to a fork in the path and can't remember which way to go. Do you go left or right?
I'm going to the right.
Going to the right. Okay. All right. You decided to go right. You're pretty sure this is the way. And look at that. You were correct. The cabin is just ahead, but wait a second. The windows are dark. Where is your friend? You knock, but no one answers. The front door's unlocked, so you go inside and call out for your friend. There's no response. When you try to turn on the light, nothing happens. You take a look at your phone and see that it's on 6% battery. It's going to die any second. The lights didn't go out the last time you were here. If you remember correctly, your friend said there was a generator in the basement and a flashlight and candles in the attic. Do you investigate the attic or the basement?
My phone's gonna die, so I have to go get the lights, the flashlight, and you say that. So there's candles and a flashlight upstairs.
Candles and flashlight upstairs, possibly a generator in the basement to turn the lights back on.
Well, if my phone dies by the time I get downstairs, I'm gonna go upstairs and grab the flashlight and the candles.
Adam is going to the attic. The attic sounds like a better idea, so you search the ceiling for the entrance. You find it in the kitchen where you pull the drawstring, revealing the mouth of the attic and the ladder that folds down. Above your head, there's only a rectangle of black. It's just the dark. You remind yourself it can't hurt you. You begin your ascent into the attic where the only source of light is your quickly dying phone. You expect to see stacks upon stacks of dusty boxes, but to your surprise, there's only a lone chest. Maybe there's something in there I can use, you think. Do you open the chest or do you return downstairs?
My phone's gonna die, but this chest sounds scary, so I'm gonna go back down.
He's going back downstairs. Okay. You decide to take your chances in the dark and return downstairs. Sure, the dark is scary, but you are getting some pretty bad vibes from that chest. Hello, a voice says from the living room. You nearly jump out of your skin when you see a shadowy figure a few feet away, but then you recognize the outline. It's your friend. Oh my God, where have you been? The lights won't turn on and I've been seriously freaking out. Sorry I'm so late. My head hasn't felt right all evening, they say, and you notice something weird about their voice. It's almost deeper than usual. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up, but you're not entirely sure why. Your friend takes a step closer and a patch of moonlight comes in through the window, illuminating their face and their eyes. It's like they changed from their normal color to a strange yellow. And their teeth, oh God, their teeth. Why are they so pointy? Ask what's wrong with him, or do you run?
I just run. I'm running.
He's running. Before your friend can say another word, you're sprinting out the door towards your car. Luckily, the full moon is so bright that it's lighting your path. Behind you, you hear your friend screaming in agony, and you almost turn around. But then the scream transforms into a howl, and you decide to keep running. You get to a fork in the path, but can't exactly remember which way is the way back to your car. But you can't hesitate. You have to choose quickly because you think you hear something large and fast coming your way. Do you ignore the path, or do you go right or left?
Go left.
Adam's going left. You're doing really good, buddy.
I'm still running.
uh, you take the path left and keep running with everything you've got. After what seems like a mile, you finally find your car and manage to climb inside. Through the windshield, you see the creature burst through a line of trees and stand in front of the car. It's on its hind legs, yet its face looks almost like a wolf. For a moment, you wonder what this awful creature could possibly be, but with the full moon overhead, you think you have a pretty good idea. It's a werewolf. Looking in the back seat, you see that you have a baseball bat you can use as a weapon, but you could also drive away. Are you fighting, or are you driving away?
I'm driving away.
Driving away.
Running through him.
Look at dude, you're doing so good. I was so dead by this point. You quickly lock all the doors and get the car running. With the headlights on the creature, it only looks more frightening and inhuman. It lets out a gigantic roar and you think, I've got to get out of here. You hit the gas pedal with the intention of backing out of the parking lot, but the car lurches forward. You accidentally put the vehicle in drive instead of reverse. For a moment, the werewolf looks like a deer in headlights, and then you hear a crunch as you run over its foot. It roars in agony, and you throw the car in reverse, for real this time. You back out of the spot and start to drive away, leaving the werewolf howling in your wake. You drive all the way home. I thought you were going to your friend's cabin, your mother says when you enter. I had to cancel, you say, knowing that she'd never believe you in a million years. That night, you sleep better than you've ever slept before. You sleep so hard, it takes your mom several attempts to wake you up. Hey, sleepyhead, get up, she says. You open your eyes and sit up in bed. What's going on? Your friend came by to apologize about last night, she says, and points to the doorway. Your friend is standing there with an apologetic smile on their face, but your blood runs cold and you see what's on their legs. It's a fresh cast encasing their leg, and you think you might know how they got it. Dude, you survived. Looks like you survived and learned something new about your friend in the process. I certainly hope they don't huff and puff and blow your house down, or worse. Are you brave enough to try again? You are not.
So I was a scaredy cat is what it's saying?
No, basically you made it to the end, and I can't believe you did that because I took this thing twice and died twice.
Let's go.
Adam knows how to get out of the situation,
I do.
ladies and gentlemen.
I do.
Let's go. Well, I was hoping you were going to die.
I didn't die. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Okay. All right. Adam is obviously better in this situations, which means he's going to explain to us our next game, Don't Scream, because he obviously knows how to get out of these situations much better than I would.
Yeah. So bringing us to our game, like he said, Don't Scream is a game where you cannot scream. And that's basically the premise of the game. So let's roll the trailer real quick with this one. But that's honestly the basics of the game. And we'll kind of go into it a little bit. But it's kind of the same feel as Paranormal Tales. It's got that realism effect to it.
Are you excited for this game?
I don't know. It's a small game, like a very small game. It's only got 2 developers. I can't imagine that it's really going to be much of a game, and the way they describe it, it's a short experience. So I don't know if it's going to be a game that really gets on the radar of many people. The trailer just came out today, and I thought it just fit with what we're talking about today, and so that's why I wanted to put it on today, and here it is.
So, guys, if you're just listening on the Spotify, again, what we are looking at is a very realistic home video footage.
1993 home video that your parents used to watch you doing nothing for hours. But
just this is the same gigantic tape recorder that was used to like watch you open presents on Christmas morning and stuff like that. Yeah.
But it's got that really eerie feel, similar to Paranormal Tales, but a different setting. You know what I mean? It's not so like bright, and it's not in a house. It's in a forest. I think it's called Pinewood Forest, and so as you can see on the gameplay where you see that countdown of 15 minutes 50 seconds right now, that actually is how long you have to survive in this level without screaming. And to And the way the game is going to work is like you can't scream or you have to start over. And we'll kind of go into how that works once the trailer's over. And really, nothing is like popping out that is scary except for sounds. So I don't know how it's going to be, but the setting is kind of what does it for me.
I kind of like that it's got this 1993 video cam kind of style to it. I can see how this could be scary. The only thing that makes me a little bit nervous about this is it's almost too dark. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's almost like too dark. Like it's hard to see even like the things that are supposed to be scary.
I wonder if that's just kind of what we're seeing right now, like in terms of like the gameplay and not being the best of like video quality. I wonder. See, stuff like that is like it's like, oh, that's scary. But anyway, I wonder if it's just the way it looks like on the trailer, because like, you know, resolution gets like smushed or like compressed on YouTube and stuff like this. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. But it's hard to say.
I it's giving me a very realistic vibe, and like we're.
I may have jumped right there. So yeah, and anytime you scream, you have to start over. And so the way it works is you cannot play this game without a microphone, if that makes sense. So with that, like you have to use a microphone. And the whole premise of the game, like I said, there's no storyline to the game. However, like you're supposed to survive in this forest for 18 minutes without screaming. And the time only progresses if you move. So if you're standing still, your timer stops, which I thought was kind of interesting. And the way that makes it like the replayability of this game is that the scares are unpredictable, and also like the events are dynamic. So it's hard to predict like when a jump scare will happen or when you'll scream. And what the developer had said is like, yeah, you can like cheat the system in like terms of like lower your microphone. So if you make any noise, like it's not a scream, but that takes away from the game. And what they're saying is like a mere like gasp, like like that will count as a scream. So I think it's a game that has some potential to be fun for a little bit and have friends try it. I don't know if it's a game that will keep me invested in playing over time.
I'm kind of excited for this game.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool experience because, like we talked about, it's a very small game. It's an indie game. It's developed by two devs, Jor and Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I hope I'm saying that right. So it's literally just two guys that made a game. And I think it's very, very cool idea. They're also using the Unreal Engine 5, so it's going to be very realistic. They kind of toted it not so much as a game, but more or less think of it as like a scare simulator. Where it's kind of just like this autopilot experience. And like you talked about, it's going to be an 18-minute experience, and the entire thing is all based on the premise that you don't make any noise while you're playing the game. And I think it's a very, very cool idea. And I think for what I would assume the cost of this game to be, because it is an 18-minute experience, I can't imagine this game is going to be more than like $20.
Yeah.
I think for that price, the experience that you're going to get from this is just going to be a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be a good game where it's like you can play this game as a group of friends, and like you all try to play together, and you know, like you're playing with like 2 or 3 people in the room. You're all kind of watching this thing, and like if one of you screams, like it kind of screws everything up. I think it's going to be a fun experience, and I think it's going to be a really fun experience for the streaming community. I think this is going to be a big game for the streaming community, because it's one of those games that you can play. You can get through the entire game in the course of a stream, and you can have your audience kind of mess with you a little bit to try to get you to like jump and stuff like that. So I do think it's a very cool experience. Like you talked about, it's a dynamic experience, so you can play it over and over again, where you're not going to be like, oh, there's a jump scare coming up here. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be able to play it a bunch of times. And I think it's just going to be really, really cool. I'm excited to play through it.
I think kind of what we were even just talking about like a few minutes ago with the experience of like Outlast. Like this is a game that it's like completely like random, and I think that, like you said, it helps with that experience of you never know what's coming next, and it's gonna keep you scared the whole time. And that is a really cool aspect of this game to me, and just the setting to me, I think it's unique in terms of like the 1993 VHS, and I think that makes it, because like you said, it's something that you've seen growing up as like your opening presents, and like imagine having that at like 11 p.m. at night, and all you have is your camcorder, and like, you know what I mean? Like I can understand like the scariness behind it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna play it for sure. It's just a matter of like how long am I gonna be able to play this game. I'm gonna try to get my wife to play it because she doesn't like scary stuff. So trying to get her to go through it without screaming, that'd be kind of fun. But other than that, I just don't know how much. Like, I think it's gonna be really good for streamers. It's gonna pop off and like, oh, like yeah, let's like try to make me jump during this game and like try to get me to scream. And I think, like you said, that's gonna make it really fun. But somebody that like by myself, it's gonna be one of those things. I'll play once or twice, you know. But I am gonna try it.
Yeah, I mean it's a single player experience, but I don't think the quote unquote fun experiences you're gonna have with the game are necessarily just playing by yourself.
Right.
I think the fun experiences you're gonna have are, you've played through the game and then it's like, okay, let's get let me call my brother over here
Yeah.
and see if he can make it through, and like what I think you're gonna have a lot more fun with this game watching other people play
Right.
it. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the catch on this game. And for me, there's a lot of nostalgia. We talked about it. Like dude, I remember like going through like VHS tapes, and it's like, oh, Dave and Pete Christmas 1996. It's just like
Yeah.
that VCR footage like means something to me. Like I just remember seeing that, like that stuff. So there's nostalgia. I think there's going to be a lot of fun there. I think it's going to be, a price point where it's a game where you're not super invested in it. You throw $20 at it and have some laughs with your friends. I think it's going to be a really cool game. And again, we talked about this. It's a small developer. It's just two guys that made a game. I mean, he was saying that, he had his wife just kind of be the game tester, like it's a small kind of thing. And I think it's cool that these two guys, made something cool that they're really proud of, and they're gonna get a release, and I hope they do well with it.
Yeah, and honestly, kind of going off, that's funny you mentioned his wife. In the description on Steam, it's like, oh, my wife was the playtest, and she's still in the clinic right now, and it's kind of funny. That's funny that you brought that up, but that's cool. So that's the kind of thing I'd like to see, like Bailey play and like scare her socks off, So.
Yeah,
But-
you're gonna have a lot of fun. You're gonna have a lot of fun watching other people play this game, I think. So definitely keep it on your radar. You can put it on your Steam wish list right now. Again, don't quote me on that $20 price tag. I'm just kind of throwing it out there. That's what I was assume the cost of this game would be. Yeah,
I think somewhere around there, especially like you said, the 18 minutes, and who knows, might be even less, to be honest. Who knows? But
yeah.
That's kind of what we think right now. But this kind of brings us into a topic just because of the last two games that I wanted to mention. Okay, so with these like body cam footage and like the realism things, do you like games that are like that? Like, would you say like that's your like number one type of game? Or, all right, let's back up. Do you like games that are more realistic or more like arcadey, would you say?
It's a fine line for me.
Okay.
I like more realistic games, but I like more realistic games that still have video game feel.
Okay.
Does that make sense
Yeah.
at all?
Yeah.
Because I'm not a first person guy.
Yeah.
I hate first person. So like when I play a game, I want to play third person.
Right.
I want that view of behind my character. I want to know what's going on. I want to the first person thing just never feels. I get what they were going for with first person. It's like you are seeing it through your own eyes, but it just never feels that way to me. Like I just always feel like I'm just this like floating hand.
Yeah.
Just like these floating hands going through the world. So I kind of don't like that stuff. But I don't necessarily love like so much arcade like button mashing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I want like a realistic experience in a third person experience. And those games are becoming fewer and further,
Yeah.
like not the norm anymore. And it makes me a little sad.
Yeah. Okay, I was just kind of curious, just because like I think sometimes like games get. I almost think that realism in games is kind of over talked about sometimes, or it's overrated in terms of like, oh, it's got every little mechanic's got to be the most real thing of like the game. Kind of like Madden is ruined because of the realism. You know what I mean? Like they
Yes.
try to make it too real, but there's no way it can be, and that they're trying too hard. It's kind of ruined what Madden used to be. That, and it's always been considered like the NFL simulator, but it's got to the point where it's like there's no arcadeness to it. I mean, there's arcade modes in Madden, but like in terms of like the gameplay itself, they try too hard with all the complicated mechanics to it, and that's kind of where I think where realism is kind of overrated. But there are other games like that enhance the experience, kind of like the ones that we're talking right now. Like the fact that like these two games, they look so real. I think it's easier to immerse yourself in a game like this, if that makes sense. And so that's why I kind of like it in these kinds of games. But there's other games that just try too hard, and it takes away from like the mechanics of the game.
I'd 1,000% agree with you, because I think what the realism has to do with, and let's back up just a little bit. When you were talking about arcade style of games, I think my feel of arcade style versus maybe like today's feel of arcade style is a little bit different. So like when I think arcade style games, I'm thinking more of like wild card football,
Yeah.
where it's very much an arcade, like just absolute craziness. But I'm I, I still want to play a game,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when I'm playing video games, I still want to play a game, and I think what games like Madden have done, they've gone so far into the realism portion that like it's no longer fun to play the game.
Right.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah, and that's kind of where I was going with that. And then like there's other games like okay, kind of going to first person shooter games. There's a couple that I have that are like supposed to be the realistic, and that's Ready or Not and like 0 Hour. And like it's like either Ready or Not is like your SWAT, and you have to go in there and like diffuse situations and stuff like that. Yes, it looks and feels very real, but the fact that there's so many mechanics in terms of like you have to push this button to pull up this, and then you have to make sure to reload with this button, like there's so many mechanics to it. I think it takes away from like the realism, and that's kind of why I'll always go towards Call of Duty. Yes, it's there's a lot of things about Call of Duty that is like simulation and like fake, but the fact that like there's only the buttons that I need to worry about are on my controller, whereas like 0 Hour or Ready or Not is like EXP, like the whole bunch of different ones where like all I want to do is aim, shoot, reload, switch weapons. Like that's all I need to do. But with this one, you have to like tell them, you have to give them different commands and stuff like that, and that just takes away from the experience for me, if that makes sense.
It 1,000% makes sense, and like that's the problem, is they go so far with the realism that it takes away from the gameplay experience. Like you played like the flight sim, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're playing something that realistic, where some of these games are going to, like that's a level of insanity that like that you like when you're playing a flight simulator, you basically really need to know how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that level of kind of like, realism really takes away from the gameplay for me. And we talked about this on like, if it's a simulator type of thing, like a lot of these, like the two games that we talked about, the core gameplay mechanics isn't really, there's not a lot going on there.
Yeah.
It's more or less just about the experience. That's fine when you want to bring, the realism into it. But when you're talking about enhanced like combat systems and stuff like that, like I want it to operate as a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was going with that too. And with you bringing up Microsoft Flight Simulator, I had the yoke and stuff, so that's a little different. Like I had the buttons like available. It's not my keyboard buttons. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like the people that are really into these realism simulators, it's not for a casual person. You know what I mean? Like you have to be really interested in it. Like look at all these like racing simulators and stuff like that. Like people have like actual like car seats and like like actual steering wheels and stuff. Like you have to be invested in these realistic situations, and for like your casual gamer like me to just grab an ultra realistic game off the shelf and be like, you know, I just want to play this game, like it's not possible. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's
losing interest with that kind of thing. And with my like racing simulator, all I have is the wheels and the pedals. Like that's all I need. Like I'm not gonna go like super in depth to get a shifter and a car seat and all that thing. It's funny. My friend really wants me to play Escape from Tarkov, but every time I watch him play that, I'm like, dude, there's just so much complication to that game. I just can't do it. So that's kind of. I just want to talk about it for a little bit and see like where you're like stood on realism. It's kind of funny that we're kind of on the same page in terms of like what we look for in our realism of games. So
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love me some good graphics. You want to keep the graphics going, but like when at the end of the day, I want to play a video game. You know what I mean? I don't want to play simulate. I don't want every single thing to be a simulator. Sometimes I just want to jump into a game and just hit stuff. You know what I mean?
Unless it's a goofy simulator.
Unless it's Goat Simulator,
exactly.
You can keep making Goat Simulators all day long.
That's super realistic, but
okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where this fits. We were talking about we really went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, I said I was gonna bring it up though, but you know, it's not a different topic for us. Kind of a secondary topic or side topic.
I loved it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, because we are talking about such ghostly games with the last two games, Don't Scream and PT and oh my God, I forgot the name, Paranormal Tales. We decided that it would be a fun idea to do a little bit of a ghosty draft and draft the best ghosts of all time. Adam, do you have your list?
I do have my list.
Do you think I'm gonna get any of your
no,
any of your picks?
I don't think
None
so.
of them.
Nope.
Not a one.
Not a one.
Okay. All right, we're gonna flip the coin anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, go first.
Yay, let's go. All right.
Always.
So the best ghost draft. My number one pick, Danny Phantom. Danny Phantom.
You did not take my number one pick.
No, I didn't. Stop.
No, you did not.
Oh, okay,
you did
good,
not.
good.
I was 1,000% that you were going to take my number one pick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with my first overall pick, I will be taking the one, the only Slimer from Ghostbusters.
Ooh.
Game over. He's the best ghost
He
of all
was
time.
going to be on my list, but I was like, I don't want him. I want Danny Phantom.
I'm old. I'm an 80s baby.
That's
I love
okay.
me some Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Give me some Slimer.
My second pick is Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I actually had that on my list. Okay.
Yeah.
It's okay because I got my top two picks and I'm super excited for these. Ladies and gentlemen, with the next pick in the Ghost Draft, I will be taking the one and only Beetlejuice, specifically Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice.
Good pick.
Let's go.
That was going to be on my list too. All right. My third pick is Gengar, the Pokemon.
The Pokemon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a ghost type, so I wanted Gengar. So he's a cool
I
dude.
feel like the Pokemon fans are just going to say that you won the draft already.
Yeah, I did. That's okay.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, with the third overall pick, I will be going very obscure here. And this is only gonna mean something to the 80s romantics like myself. But I will be taking Mr. Sam Wheat from Ghost. You know I love me some Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, okay.
Rip.
Okay.
Rip the sways.
Rip the sways. My fourth pick is, this might be a little cheating, but the Force Ghost of Yoda.
What?
You know what I'm talking about?
The CGI ghost at the end.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
Doesn't count. Do I need to change it?
I'm gonna give you Ghost Yoda, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna give you Ghost Yoda. I would not give you Ghost Anakin.
Oh, okay. I had him on there too, but
You can't have Ghost Anakin. That's not a real thing.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with the fourth overall pick, I will be taking the Marleys from the Muppets Christmas Carol. I love those old dudes. Those two old dudes are so hilarious in every single thing that they're in. And I have to add them to my ghost list when they're in ghost form.
Yeah. All right, my fifth pick. I just feel like you have to have this character in a ghost pick, and that's Casper, the friendly ghost.
We are so close.
Yeah.
We are so close to making it through this list without a Casper reference.
Yep, I had to bring him in. You can't have a ghost draft and not have Casper, the friendly ghost.
Ooh, I mean, okay. All right, I got two here, and I feel like I'm going to need a banger if you pulled out Casper. I am going to go with my very last pick. Give me some Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas.
I like it.
I love Nightmare Before Christmas, and I now have a dog on my team, so I feel like I win.
Yeah. Okay. Some honorable mentions for me: the Flying Dutchman.
Love it.
Yeah, from SpongeBob.
A little SpongeBob action. I got one honorable mention that I think the Harry Potter fans would love as some nearly headless Nick. I love me some John Cleese. John Cleese is the GOAT.
He was on my list, and then another one from Harry Potter, Moaning Myrtle.
Moaning Myrtle. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I also had on my list Large Marge from the Pee Wee movies.
Okay.
Oh my god, I love Pee Wee. Also, a quick shout out to the Judge from the Frighteners. You ever seen the Frighteners? Frighteners is a great movie. It's a super underrated horror movie with Michael J. Fox. It's an amazing movie. And last but not least, we're gonna give a shout out to Dr. Malcolm Crowe from The Sixth Sense.
Okay.
I know this is the butt of all jokes, like for the longest time, that like, oh, he was dead the whole time. But I feel like we got to put him on this list because it's funny to me that when this movie came out, like people were just more accepting of the fact that like his wife just ignored him for that entire movie than other than the fact that he was just dead. Like people were like, yeah, his wife's just ignoring him. It's fine.
That's funny.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good
stuff.
draft, man. That was a good one.
Guys, let us know down in the comments who won, and we almost made it through without talking about Casper, but that's okay.
You have to talk about Casper.
Do you have to?
Yes,
though?
he's the friendly ghost, man. Casper the friendly ghost. Whatever.
Okay. All right. Next topic: Twisted Tower.
Twisted Tower. The Willy Wonka BioShock.
Yeah, BioShock meets Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and roll the trailer because I feel like people got to see what we're talking about here.
Exactly.
Because I am gonna crap on this game hard.
Are you?
I am.
Oh no.
The ultra-violent cross between BioShock and Willy Wonka and Disneyland.
And I think I know where you're gonna crap on this game, and it's this part right here in the voiceover. Am I right? Is that part of it?
Part of it, yes.
Okay.
It's part of it. Yeah, so guys, if you're just listening on the Spotify, what we're looking at is essentially a twist on the Willy Wonka story, except this one is a toy maker, and he put the velvet tickets inside of a bunch of toys, and if you get a ticket, you get to go to the Twisted Tower. And then what we're seeing right now is just absolute, just bloody mayhem.
Yeah.
Like first-person shooter bloody mayhem with like some puzzle aspects, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right on the right track here. It's just pure chaos, to be honest.
It's absolute madness, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah. And I think that's what this game is trying to go for in terms of like chaos and things like that.
I mean, you're the first-person shooter guy.
Yeah,
Are you excited about this?
I think so. I don't know. It's one that it intrigued me when I first saw it, if I can say that, to be honest.
I feel you. It was intriguing, but I like. Okay, I'm not a first-person shooter guy, so we all know that this game is not gonna be something for me.
Right.
But I mean, you are the first-person shooter guy. Is this something that you are interested in? Is it something that you want to play?
I think it is something that I will play in the future, especially if it's a game that goes on sale at some point. The hard part for me is BioShock has never been a game that I didn't like the feel of BioShock. That wasn't a game that I was interested in. However, with this one, I just thought it fit with our theme of like the scary, and I was like, oh, it does look interesting, but is it interesting enough for me to play? I don't think so off the bat. But if, let's say, my friend buys it and it's in his library, I'll definitely download it and try it. And who knows, maybe it is a game that I'll like really come into love. But kind of going into where this game kind of came about, and I think this is going to kind of go into what you're thinking, Dave. And so the developer that made this game, he said he has like started over a bunch of times. He's kind of changed his mind a bunch of things. He's thrown stuff into it. He had the idea of making it more of like a medieval castle kind of like feel to it. It's had different names. The names that they originally had was, one second, I have them here. Shoot, I can't remember. I'm blanking. Anyway, there used to be two different titles, and they ended with Twisted Tower. It's a boomer shooter, and they were struggling to find somebody to sign them for a while. And so they finally kind of got up to it. The game's gonna feature different puzzles, crazy explosions, mechanics, and the story of it now is so a main character is Tiny. That's who you play as. Is in love with this character named Charlotte. And she actually ended up fall in love with some bully, I guess. And so to like win Charlotte's love, Tiny goes and does this game hosted by Mr. Twister, and that's the Twisted Tower game, and you have to make your way up the top. And at the end, his plan is to ask for her hand in marriage. So I think that's kind of where you're going to go with this, Dave, is it just seems like it's a whole bunch of let's throw this into the game. Let's throw this into the game. Let's throw this into the game. Let's throw Joker into the game.
Yeah.
So and I thought that was the biggest ripoff of the game, is that the main, like the guy sounds like the Joker, but and then even the art style of that, like you saw at the beginning of the trailer, he looks like Joker, and that's where I was like, I don't really like that. So.
Yeah. So this game, like Adam talked about, it's developed by Atmos Games, and Atmos finally got a publisher, which was 3D Realms, to greenlight this project. And like Adam talked about, lots of variations. This guy started over a bunch of times. Basically, this is an FPS where players are contestants, right? So you're a contestant after you win a ticket, and you're participating in some weird game show where you need to ascend the tower, just like Adam said. I think the biggest thing here, and it's like when you were talking about the Joker, like this game has such an identity crisis that like I don't know what is like, I don't know what they're going for. So like the gameplay is BioShock, right? The ticket idea, clearly Willy Wonka.
Yep.
The bad guy is definitely the Joker, and not like a good Joker. It's like a very bad rendition of the Joker. It's the Jared Leto Joker. I don't understand what's going on there, guys. If you guys just listened on the Spotify, jump over to YouTube and check out the trailer for this game. You have to see just the incredible ripoff of the Joker that is part of this trailer. It is absolutely insane. The concept is kind of Squid Games ish, where it's like you're like kind of going through this
different challenges,
different challenges to like make it through obstacles and stuff like that. Like we're seeing moving staircases like from Hogwarts. It's just like, how much crap from other franchises can you throw into one game? And it's just super confusing to me.
I think it's hard. I don't know, because I think the gameplay mechanics look fun and crazy. And you know me, like I like that crazy aspect, but I definitely see, like you said, there's no true identity to the game. And I think that's what makes it hard for me to see like how this game is going to turn out and attract a bunch of new people, or just people in general. And especially with all the changes they make a bunch of times, it's hard to like, yeah, this is what he's going for, but he was going for this earlier, and then this is what they were going for before. Does that make sense? So like, I just don't know what this game is. It just fit in line with what we were talking about this week. So I was like, let's put it in. Like I said, it's going to be a game that I will try if my friend gets it at some point.
Yeah, and like you don't get me wrong, when we first looked at this, like Adam threw this idea out there, and I was like, this looks really interesting. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I was excited, and it definitely fit in the genre. And then the more and more I was like looking at things, I'm just like, this game is absolutely insane. And like we talked about this when we did the episode with Blue, where
Mhm.
it's like, I feel like this game was like, and to quote him, it was just like this guy was like, just make video game like the game. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like what's gonna be the concept? Like, oh, okay, the concept is going to be there's this suitcase that nobody knows what's inside of it and you need to protect it, kind of like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then and then the bad guy is going to be kind of this sinister kind of character, kind of like Lord Voldemort.
Yeah.
And then the setting is gonna be very like in the woods, kind of like Lord of the Rings. And it's just
Yeah.
like, how much crap can you just
Yeah.
like throw together before somebody's just like, I don't think this game is gonna work, bro.
Right, and I think that's a great way to put it. Because what was that game that we talked about that we all looked at it at first like, oh, that's gonna be fun, and then the more we looked at it, it's like, video game the game.
Video game the game. This is video game the game, and they just
Yeah.
made it like a first person shooter where they just threw all of this crap together, and it's like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And it's like, how I don't even know how you can get it. Like, how is Warner Brothers being like, yeah, go ahead, make that game. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
know. Yeah, but I don't know. It looked interesting. It's one of those things that I hope to give a shot if it's like on sale at some point, but it's not going to be one that I start with. And as of right now, it's a thumbs down for me, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna thumbs down into you guys. Let us know down in the comments if we're being too harsh on this game and there is some underlying aspects that people are excited about, because we're all ears. But I just and we say this all the time. We do a lot of research, try to give you guys the best information possible, and I just could not find any like shining light about this game. It's like the deeper I got in down the rabbit hole, the more I was just like the initial reaction of seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool, and then it all just went downhill.
Yeah. Yep. And so I found my what the game was originally called. It was originally called Silver first, and then it was Father. Oh yeah. Started with Silver, and then it was Father, and now it's Twisted Tower. So it's like, what in the heck? How do you go from that to Twisted Tower? But whatever. So,
And spoiler alert, with a title like Father, you find out at the end of the game that they've used the Star Wars reference, and you're gonna get to the top, and the Joker is gonna be like, "Tiny, I am your father."
oh my goodness, Dave, you just beat the game. Dave just beat the game. He just called it. You heard it here first, guys.
We just called the game.
Yeah.
We just called the game before the release.
Yep.
I'm calling it right now.
That's funny. That is funny.
I mean, they've stolen so many references. Why would they not steal the Luke I am your father
Yeah.
reference too?
But I've some hope, but not much hope. So
Not much hope either. This is a game I'll probably check out once it. I do want to keep tabs on this game
Yeah.
just to kind of see what happens,
Yep.
but it won't be one that I want to play.
Mhm.
Yeah, and guys, if we're being too harsh on the game and you got some underlying stuff that we should take notice of, please drop it in the comments. Love to hear it. But as of right now, this is going to be a hard pass for me.
same as well. Moving on.
I'll tell you what won't be a hard pass for me though.
No, you're gonna like. You want this game? Next game?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Let's go.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the 3v7 asymmetrical multiplayer shooter horror game. Not shooter, multiplayer horror game.
The Dead by Daylight killer.
That's what we said about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and we saw how. Oh wait, that's not it.
But I believe it this time.
I don't.
I believe in Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
This is the gameplay trailer of not Twisted Towers. Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I'm so excited. Look at these clowns.
I can't.
This is incredible. Guys, if you're just listening on the Spotify, basically what we're looking at is just this like insane Dead by Daylight style where the killers are clowns and the death animations are absolutely like miraculous.
Yeah, it looks very goofy, and It definitely has a better feel than Texas Chainsaw Massacre did. You know what I mean?
Look
Like
at him! Look at him walking,
yeah.
the little balloon dog.
it looks so goofy. It's just over the top, and I think that's why it's so funny and so fun looking.
I think that's why it's gonna do better than Texas Chainsaw, because like
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw tried really hard to be scary. This is just being exactly what a video game should be. It's just goofy.
Fatality. That's what reminds me of this part. Like this part right here. Reminds me of Mortal Kombat Fatality.
Yeah.
So, and it's cool in this one that you can fight back, and I think that's really interesting. So it's an asymmetrical game that you can fight back, which a lot of the times it's like you can't fight back as much. So
Yeah, and when you're looking at Dead by Daylight, 'cause, guys, again, if you're just looking at or listening on the Spotify, what we're seeing is like, the survivors have good guns and stuff like that, and like Adam said, you're able to fight back as a survivor, which is a thing that like you cannot do in Dead by Daylight. Like, yeah, you can throw down, like. You could throw down the board or something, and you could stun them with a flashlight and stuff like that. But this is like it's actually an opportunity where you as a survivor can fight back and like have a definitive win point, and I love that.
Yep. And so essentially the premise of this game is it's based off of a movie, right? Like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space movie.
It is 1000% based off of
Okay.
a movie. Do you
you
have
want me
the
to roll it?
trailer? Actually,
Yeah, I can roll that trailer.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So, guys, if you guys have not seen this movie at all, this is a classic horror movie from 1988, which is just so incredibly like. I don't want to say it's cheesy, but it's almost like a comical horror movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh, the CGI back
look
in the
at
day.
the CGI. Guys, if you're just
And that's
listening,
cotton candy, right? Okay,
Yeah,
now things are starting to connect for me with what the game references and stuff. Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
Look at these guys, so funny. This is almost like the birth of like of like Tromo movies to me.
Yeah.
Like just such cheesy B horror movies. Look at that little clown.
It pops his head off, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He pops his head. Yeah. I love this part too. He does like he's doing like the little shadow
Yeah, yeah.
puppets.
Oh, and then it eats the people.
Just eat them. No big deal.
Delicious.
But it's so funny, dude. Like looking back at this era of like
Yeah.
horror movies, like they just don't make this stuff anymore.
No, and you would never be scared nowadays if you saw this. You know what I mean? Like,
You would never be scared of this ever.
yeah. Oh, there's the dog.
Yeah, there's the
balloon
dog.
dog. And the pizza.
Yeah,
That's
he pops out of
cool.
the pizza box.
Yeah.
So like they're doing a really good job of like bringing in these movie elements to the
Yeah.
game.
The cotton candy
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah, the cotton candy gun.
So many references. Yeah. That's so cool.
And they're like, it's like, I'm trying to think of a good way to put this. It's like, it's a horror movie, but a horror movie that's like it's like comedy horror.
Yeah.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
I
It's like
I would put it-
perfect for a game like this too.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
perfect for a game like that. But yeah, so guys, it's gonna be 3 killers, 7 survivors trying to eliminate. Basically, what they're trying to do there is eliminate like the skill issue of one person. So in a game like Dead by Daylight, the skill of the killer really kind of like dictates the match. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think having the 3 different killers is going to kind of eliminate that issue. And I think it's going to be very, very cool. And the one cool thing about having the 7 survivors
Yeah.
is that not every survivor is going to be a human person. So
Okay.
when you die, if there's an NPC survivor left, you take that spot. So it's not like
Oh, cool.
I actually really, really like that, because when
Yeah.
you're in DBD and your character dies and you're just sitting there like watching the match, it's super, super boring.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of having like an NPC survivor that you can take over.
Right. That's really cool. So I wonder, does it work if so if they kill an NPC, like you still lose that life? You know what I mean? Like there's only so many lives left then for you to take over.
Yeah, there's only so many lives. So if the clown killers end up killing an NPC, like if you die and there's an NPC left, you take over their spot. But
Yeah,
if there's no NPC left, you don't get to take over the spot. So
that makes sense.
it's not like the killers will be at like such a ridiculous disadvantage.
Yeah.
But I do think it's cool to like keep the game going longer.
Yeah, yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And kind of going off of it, so there's different classes of each clown. And this is from just like the video that I watched. 5 different classes for the clowns, and the 3 that were shown in like the gameplay trailer is Shorty, who's considered a fighter, so he likes to be up close and stuff. And that's that reference where he punches the dude's head off. So you'll see that in the trailer. Jumbo's the scout, and then Spikey's the tracker. So that's the one with the little clown puppy or the balloon doggy. So
That's my dude all day.
All day,
Give me
yeah.
that balloon dog.
yeah. And so like, and then in the game, I thought this was really interesting. So there's AI clowns, and they're I can't remember the name, what they're called. But they they're attracted to sounds that the survivors make, and so like those clowns follow around like the humans, and like that helps the killers too.
Yeah, like identify their location and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
AI clowns. I don't remember what
Yeah.
they're called. I'm guessing some weird name, but
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it's cool, and the clowns like I think what's really cool is like part of this movie is that the clowns want to capture you, but they want to take you back to the mothership. So like, I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities like in DVD, like I'm jumping ahead. Let's go back a little bit further. So Adam talked a lot about the cotton candy gun. So
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of the stupid things in this movie is that the killer clowns trap you in webs of cotton candy, and you can think of the cotton candy cocoons or of what they were
Yeah.
as like your DVD hooks, right?
Yep.
So you're gonna be, you'll be captured, put in these cocoons. It's gonna give other players the option, much like running over to take you off the hook, to pull you out of these cotton candy cocoons,
Yep.
stuff like that. The really cool thing though is that in this kind of version, the survivors are able to infiltrate that mothership where
really?
where the clowns are trying to take you back. So the survivors, if you work together, you can infiltrate the mothership and kind of like reverse engineer the ship to implode on the clowns, and that's like a way for the survivors to win the game.
Yeah.
And I love that there's an option for the survivors to win the game, because we
Yeah.
talked about this a lot with DBD and Texas Chainsaw. There's
Yeah.
really no option to like win. It's just escape.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
So I think like having an option to win as a survivor is very, very cool, and something that these games doesn't really do often.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I saw that you can stop their invasion, like you said, or you can escape. So like there's that option too, and I think there's one other option, but I can't remember what that. I think it's something to do with like the beams of the rays that you see, like, and they look like generators. If you shut those down.
Yeah, I think that's like imploding the mothership.
Oh, okay, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what those beams are. So to me, it looks like if you as a survivor get all of those beams on the mothership, it's like it like implodes the mothership, and it's
Okay.
like an instant win for the survivors.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
I think this would be pretty cool.
It took us a while to talk about this game because we talked about it. Like we talked about talking about this game a while ago, but we didn't have much to go off of aside from the trailer. But seeing the gameplay, it makes it seem so much more fun than I thought this game was gonna be.
Yeah, I honestly, I'm super excited for this game. I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and like for people that are kind of like over DBD, I think this is like a good, like, people were over DBD and then they were excited for Texas Chainsaw, and then Texas Chainsaw was just trash. I think like this will be a good jumping point from people that are like done with DBD but still like the genre, and
Yeah.
like that, want to play with friends and like this kind of style and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a great game for them.
I agree. This is one I'm gonna play. This is one I'm gonna try.
You're going to play it?
I'm gonna try it. We'll play together, Dave. I'll get it on my
Let's
PlayStation
go.
and we can play together.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm definitely going to play this one.
Is there a release date on this one?
No release date yet. This has actually been pushed for the longest time. But again, we talk about this all the time. We're getting some trailer drops and stuff like that, some official trailer drops. So I'm assuming it's going to be coming out very, very soon because this was initially an early 2023 release and it's been pushed pretty far. So I'm assuming it's coming out soon. Hopefully by the end of the year. But yeah, it's definitely a game I will be checking out. And apparently me and Adam are going to play together, which I'm super excited for.
Boop, boop.
Let's go.
Good episode,
dude.
Yeah.
Good episode, dude. Good episode.
Great
Good
episode.
stuff. Good to be back, man. Good to be
Good
back.
to be back.
I'm choking on my own spit.
Alrighty. On that note,
still got some remnants from the sickness. Okay, my dudes, guys, thank you for everything. Love you guys very, very much. I do just want to say, I really am choking on my own spit. I don't want to say that. What I do want to say is we are actually super close to 600 subscribers on the YouTube. Super appreciate you guys. So if you guys are listening on the Spotify or have not hit that like and subscribe button, please do so. It would really mean a lot to us to get to that 600. Super appreciate you guys for everything. Adam, what you got for them?
if you're not following us on all social media, make sure to do so. Let's Talk Nerdy Podcast. And check out our website, letstalknerdypodcast.com. Good stuff on there, blogs, shirts, all that good stuff. And make sure to check out the review video of Wildcard Football if you're interested in that game.
Check out Wildcard Football Review. Get ready for the Lords of the Fallen live. We love you guys very, very much.
Let's play.
We'll see. Yeah, we're not going live.
Yeah, we're not going live. Let's play.
We love you guys very, very much. Check out the Wildcard Football Review. Check out the Let's Play Lords of the Fallen, which will be coming soon. And we will see y'all on the next one.
Peace out, nerds.